How we doing, everybody? Tonight we're going to be taking a look at a brand new MTH Railking F3 A-B-A set in the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy paint scheme. So first things first, a few facts and stats about the model. This is a Railking F3 A-B-A set. Now, these are actually modeled after the original Lionel post-war 2343 F3. So they do have the same proportions and styling with a little bit more add-on detail and separately applied things, and definitely a lot more features. Okay, so before we get into an in-depth look at the models themselves, let's go over a few of the features that this actually has. So this is a Railking F3 A-B-A set. Now, it is not Premier Line, it is Railking, but I think that this can be considered a Railking scale model because proportions are pretty close to 1/48 scale, even though the locomotives themselves are modeled after the original Lionel post-war F3 A-B-A sets. But MTH definitely put a lot more work into these, and they put a lot more features and details and stuff, and you guys will see those as we go. Out of the box, the locomotives come with Proto-Sound 3.0. They have two operating proto-couplers, one on the front of each A unit. It has LED headlights, two flywheel-equipped motors in the first powered A unit, as well as operating smoke units in the powered A unit. It has lighted cabs on both A units, and it has two hand-painted crew figures in both A units. Now, starting at the front of the locomotive, I'm gonna only review one of these A units because they are absolutely identical. It really doesn't matter, but I will go over all the features and the details of these. So up front, we have an operating proto-coupler, and as I said before, this is the same on the opposite A unit at the other end. So you do have two operating proto-couplers. You have a die-cast metal pilot, die-cast metal trucks, separately applied metal ladders. You have lighted number boards, separately applied handrails, operating LED Mars light, and a headlight. And that's actually pretty cool because when these originally first came out, obviously in the 1950s from Lionel, you just had a standard headlight. MTH, I believe, was one of the first that started putting the operating Mars light in these F units. And personally, it adds a whole bunch, and it just makes the model that much more realistic. Up on the top here, we have separately applied metal horns. We have I want to say like a soft seafoam green cab interior, which is pretty prototypical to the actual locomotive. And we have two hand-painted crew figures, one engineer and one fireman. And we even have some molded in windshield wiper detail right up there. All right, everybody, now we're going to be having a look at the side of the locomotive. So if you're looking at this thing and it looks a little off, well, that's because it's meant to be like this. If you look at the front of the locomotive here, this is actually painted silver. But if you look at the back half, it almost looks like a stainless steel. And this is done intentionally because if you don't know, this is one of MTH's plated sets. Now, what is plating? Basically, in the 1950s and the 60s, when the locomotives were operating on their passenger trains, the manufacturers or the railroads would have stainless steel panels affixed to their diesel locomotives, and it would actually add a little bit more glitz and glamour and shine, and it would be more an attractive thing than just a simply painted locomotive. Santa Fe obviously was the biggest and most well-known for doing this. But Burlington was no slouch either. These were actually some of the locomotives that would have hauled the California Zephyr. So naturally, when you have one of your named passenger trains, what do you want to do? You want to have the flashiest and fanciest looking locomotives that's going to complement that beautiful rake of cars that you have. And MTH has this plating down to a science. I've seen the Lionel ones. It's not terrible, but MTH, man, they got it right. This stuff looks great. And I don't even think the videos will do it justice. Depending on the lighting in your house or in your home or in your layout room or whatever, these panels will pick up and reflect such beautiful colors. They're just astonishing, and they look so good. And they actually do an entire passenger car set to complement either in the Burlington or in the Santa Fe with the plating. And I will actually put some pictures of that up along with their pricing and their part numbers in case you guys are interested in that. But let's move on down the side of the locomotive. Here's the continuation of the die-cast metal trucks and pilot, the separately applied metal ladders, separately applied portholes, beautiful Burlington route lettering, as well as this really, really cleanly done red striping, die-cast metal fuel tank. You have the General Motors logo on the door here, and this actually harkens back to the original Lionel post-war F3s, which is what these are technically modeled after. The original Lionel post-war F3s always had the General Motors logo on the back of them, and I like that they carried that over. It's a nice little harkening back to the original the original place that this came from, and I absolutely love that. Along the top here, you have molded in fans as well as your two operating exhaust stacks, and to add smoke fluid to this, you just drop some smoke right down either one of the exhaust stacks. If it doesn't smoke right away, you can just take a couple of blows right down the top of that and pop any air bubbles, and that'll allow the locomotive to smoke nice and freely. So let's have a look at the B unit. All right, here's the B unit. Pretty much identical to the A unit, except there's no cab and the entire thing is plated. But once again, beautifully applied red lining all the way down the side of it, die-cast metal truck, separately applied steps, die-cast metal fuel tank, that beautiful GM decal right here, as well as separately applied portholes. Now, the one thing I am going to show you now, and this is something that is going to probably take a little bit of practice, but I'd like to give you guys a heads up on this if you do decide to buy this. So this is an A-B-A set. Now, what that means is you have technically 3 locomotive pieces conjoined together to form one single powered unit. Now, even though the front A unit is the one that has the 2 flywheel equipped motors, this is a rolling dummy, and the other A unit is a rolling dummy, they all need to be connected one way in order to allow the lights in the rear A unit to function. So how does MTH do that? Well, they use tethers. And if you look down here, there is a small tether plug that is connecting the B unit to the lead A, and then same thing on the other side. So these are a little bit of a pain to get in, but if you have a nice pair of needle nose pliers, that'll actually solve your problems. I personally like these a lot better. I know some of the newer MTH F3s, you have to do them as a lash up, and it's not a deal breaker, but it is a little bit tougher to work with if you guys don't have a lot of experience with the DCS, but it's pretty straightforward at the end of the day. I personally, I'm a little bit more old school, and I do like this method, even though it's a little bit more work to put together. But next, we're gonna get it down on the test track here, start it up, and I'll run through some of the sounds with you guys. All right, so now we're gonna run through some of the sounds here, but a couple of things I do wanna say beforehand. As I was mentioning about that beautiful plating, you can already see right here the way it's reflecting some of the blue lights and things like that. I will do a run by with the lights off in the garage, so maybe you guys can see the plating pick up the different hues. But here we go, let's start the locomotive up here and get it rolling. All right, so right off the bat, you can tell what I was talking about with that Mars light. It just adds so much to this thing, and I think it looks so cool, and it definitely adds to the realism. So the first sound we're gonna go over is the bell. Pretty traditional air rung bell. The next one is the horn. So I'm gonna do the standard white horn with the white horn button. And it will do a little bit of an additional quilling noise if you hold it down for a long period of time. The next one I'm going to do is the soft key horn, and this will allow it to do a crossing horn. Now, this is only available if you're using the DCS app or the DCS controller. You can't actually get this function if you are running this locomotive conventionally, but here we go. I always thought that was a cool feature that MTH did. I really liked that they included that. So the next one we're going to do is the passenger freight announcement sequence. So it's a little bit long, but just bear with me. So let's get to it.
Now arriving from Chicago on track 2, train number 18, the California Zephyr.
Be careful on the steps.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. May I take your baggage? Ticketed passengers only. Let me help you.
Now departing for Denver on track 2, train number 18, the California Zephyr.
Pardon me. Hurry up now. Be careful on the steps. All aboard. Are you ready to go? Yep, we have drinking water and toilets in service. Sand bins are topped off. We are ready to move.
I just want to say I am just absolutely thrilled that MTH decided to go with the California Zephyr sound font in this. With the plating, and if you get the matching cars, it just is going to look so slick. So I just want to point that out. So now I'm going to run it around the layout and let you guys have a look at it in operation. So here we go. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that review. This is a gorgeous model, and the plating just definitely sets it off, and it will definitely be a head turner on your layout. The F3 A-B-A set lists for $569.99. The item number is 30-20804-1. If you're interested in picking up the 4-car set as well as the 2-car add-on set, the 4-car set lists for $319.99. The part number for that is 30-68225-1. And the 2-car add-on set lists for $156.99. And the part number for that is 30-68226-1. If you guys are interested in picking this up, please feel free to give us a call at 305-688-8868 or check out our website, readytorolltrains.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.